You're about to be surprised by what I'm about to share with you. And if you're seeing this message, it's no accident. You've been guided here for a reason. A powerful transformation is happening in your life right now. As a chosen one, you're not like everyone else. You see the world through a deeper lens, and your path is lined with extraordinary events and synchronicities that most people overlook. Before we dive into why everything in your life is shifting, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment saying 77 to send a strong signal to the universe. Watch this video on repeat to amplify its energy. If you're truly chosen, you'll stay until the very end. If not, you'll probably click away. Chapter 1. The Awakening Moment. A powerful transformation often begins with a subtle awakening, a strange restlessness, or a quiet nudge that tells you something in your life is about to change. You might have felt this stirring inside you for weeks, months, or even years. Perhaps you've noticed you're no longer satisfied with the same conversations, the same routines, or the same ambitions that once filled your day. It's as if an unseen force is tugging at your spirit, telling you that your current life, however comfortable or familiar, isn't the full picture of who you are meant to be. Everyday encounters suddenly feel different. People you used to connect with may no longer align with your energy. Small talk might bore you. You yearn for conversations that reach into the depths of meaning, spirituality, or purpose. Sometimes this shift can create a sense of isolation. Friends who once understood you might seem distant now, and activities that used to excite you may feel hollow. It can be unsettling, but understand this. Your transformation has begun, and your inner self is craving higher vibrational experiences. Part of the awakening process is noticing signs and synchronicities everywhere you go. Repeating numbers on the clock, meaningful coincidences, and intuitive nudges that direct you toward unexpected paths. These signs may appear mundane to others, but to you they carry profound significance. It's like the universe is placing breadcrumbs along your path, each one confirming that you're stepping into a realm of heightened awareness. Some people might call it coincidence, but you know it's so much more. Embrace these moments because they validate that you're tuned into a higher frequency. This initial phase isn't always smooth. You might feel euphoric one day and anxious the next, questioning whether you're on the right path or if you're imagining everything. This emotional roller coaster is normal. Transformation rarely happens all at once. It's a gradual unfolding where layers of who you thought you were peel away. The bright side is that each layer you shed brings you closer to the essence of your true self, a self unbound by fear, doubt, or external definitions of success. You might also experience heightened sensitivity. Small dramas at work or negativity in the media can hit you harder than before. This is because your spiritual senses are magnifying, making you more attuned to what drains your energy and what uplifts it. While this sensitivity can feel overwhelming, it's also a gift, guiding you to make choices that nourish your soul. Following these intuitive impulses takes courage, especially if they lead you away from what's familiar. But remember, the awakening moment is a sacred invitation to step into your fullest potential. With your awakening underway, you stand at the threshold of limitless possibilities. The restlessness you feel isn't a crisis, it's a calling. The transformations in your life are not random disruptions, but deliberate recalibrations orchestrated by a higher force. As you acknowledge this grand design, you'll begin to see that everything, your past, your present circumstances, your dreams, has been orchestrated to lead you to this point. This moment of awakening is just the beginning of a much larger adventure that will touch every corner of your existence. Chapter 2. Releasing Old Identities. As your transformation accelerates, you'll find that old versions of yourself no longer fit. Identities you once clung to, maybe you labeled yourself the quiet one, the family caretaker, or the dependable friend, might begin to feel restricting. It's like trying to wear clothes you've outgrown. They pinch and tug, reminding you constantly of your need to expand. This can be disorienting because these labels provided you with a sense of belonging and predictability. Letting go of them can be scary, but it's a critical part of stepping into your higher destiny. You might notice tension building in your personal relationships. People close to you are used to a certain version of who you've always been, And when you start to evolve, they can feel threatened or confused. Sometimes they'll try to pull you back into old patterns, not out of malice, but because they fear losing the comfort of what's familiar. Take a breath here. It's important to show compassion for them and for yourself. You're dismantling an old identity, not erasing your true essence. Remind them you're still you, just growing in new ways. Everyday life also shifts when you shed these old identities. Perhaps you were once the person who never said no and constantly overcommitted. Now you find yourself setting boundaries or declining invitations that don't resonate with your new vibration. Maybe you always avoided confrontation, but now you speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. These adjustments can upset the status quo and trigger guilt, self-doubt, or even fear of rejection. Yet this is exactly how you carve out space for the person you're becoming. As you relinquish these outdated roles, you might feel a sense of loss. That's perfectly normal. Shedding the old self is part of honoring the journey that led you here. Each stage of your life, each identity, served a purpose. They taught you lessons, introduced you to important people, and shaped aspects of your character. But just as a caterpillar must surrender its form to become a butterfly, you must allow these identities to gently fall away. It's not an end. It's a transformation into something more expansive and aligned with your deepest truth. Curiously, once you release these old versions of yourself, you free up tremendous energy. You'd be surprised how much vitality you recover when you're not constantly upholding an image that no longer fits. That energy can now be directed toward activities and relationships that match your evolving frequency. Creative projects, spiritual pursuits, and meaningful collaborations will draw you in. It's as if new doors pop open where walls once stood. This surge in possibilities can feel exhilarating, giving you a taste of the liberated life that awaits. When you fully embrace your authenticity and let go of who you were, you make room for who you're meant to become. The emptiness you might experience at first is actually fertile ground for something beautiful to take root. It's a phase of potential, beckoning you to dream bigger and be bolder than ever before. By choosing to release your old identities, you commit to a journey of continuous discovery, and that in itself is a gift, revealing that life isn't just a straight line. It's a spiral that propels you upward every time you outgrow your former self. Chapter 3. Recognizing Divine Support. Once you've begun shedding outdated identities, you'll notice patterns of divine support emerging in ways you may not have seen before. It's as though the universe is leaning in closer, orchestrating people, events, and resources to show up at precisely the right time. Perhaps a friend recommends a book that answers questions you've been quietly wrestling with, or you receive an unexpected job offer that aligns perfectly with your evolving path. These seemingly random events are not coincidences. They're signposts that a higher power is actively guiding your transformation. Sometimes this support appears as gentle nudges, like a recurring dream, a synchronistic number pattern, or a sudden inspiration to travel to a place you've never considered. Other times it's more dramatic, a near-miss accident that jolts you into appreciating life, a windfall of money when you're on the verge of giving up, or a conversation with a total stranger that leaves you with chills of recognition. These experiences share a common thread. They remind you that you're not alone in this journey. The universe, angels, ancestors, or whatever spiritual force you resonate with has your back. In everyday life, you might find that the problems you used to obsess over no longer paralyze you. Instead, answers and solutions start to flow more naturally. This could be as simple as waking up with a crystal clear idea of how to handle a work conflict or receiving an intuitive prompt to reach out to someone who can help. It's not that life becomes magically problem-free, but the weight of challenges lessen as you realize you have an invisible team supporting your every step. Fear subsides when you trust that the path ahead is lit, even if only a few feet at a time. However, recognizing divine support requires a degree of receptivity. If your mind is perpetually cluttered with worries, regrets, or endless to-do lists, you might overlook these spiritual breadcrumbs entirely. Making space through meditation, prayer, journaling, or even a mindful walk in nature primes you to hear the subtle whispers of guidance. You develop a sort of inner listening, a fine-tuned awareness that picks up on signals your rational mind might otherwise dismiss. By relaxing into this receptive state, you create openings for miracles and blessings to pour in. It's also helpful to actively acknowledge these moments of grace. Keep a small journal or a note on your phone where you record any synchronicities, dreams, or intuitive hunches that come to fruition. Documenting them validates your growing connection to the spiritual realm and strengthens your faith in the unfolding process. Over time, your trust in divine support deepens, and you become more courageous in following your intuition, even if it defies conventional logic. With every confirmation, you'll notice a gentle but powerful shift in your outlook. Instead of feeling like life is happening to you, you begin to see that life is happening for you. You're not merely reacting to external circumstances. You're co-creating your reality with the universe. And that perspective transforms challenges into stepping stones, fears into fuel for growth, and random occurrences into conscious, divinely guided steps along your path. Chapter 4. The Emergence of Authentic Power. As you continue to embrace the signs of transformation, an inner strength you might never have experienced before begins to surface. This isn't the sort of power that dominates others or seeks control. It's a quiet, deep-rooted force anchored in your soul. It emerges when you finally align your actions, words, and thoughts with your highest truths. You discover that true power isn't about forcing outcomes, but about standing confidently in who you are, knowing that the universe moves with you when you're aligned with your divine calling. In everyday life, authentic power shows up in your choices. You may find yourself no longer compromising your integrity to keep the peace or to please others. Perhaps you used to say yes to every request out of guilt or obligation, but now you trust your inner compass more than external expectations. Saying no becomes an act of self-respect rather than a source of shame. This shift can baffle people who knew the old you, but it also earns a certain reverence, whether they admit it or not. Part of this empowerment involves recognizing the incredible creative force within you. If before you felt stuck or uninspired, you might now experience surges of creative energy, ideas for projects, solutions to nagging problems, or innovative ways to express yourself. These sparks often illuminate what you truly enjoy doing and how you can serve the world. Following these inclinations feels less like work and more like play. You realize you're tapping into a reservoir of limitless possibilities that had been hidden beneath layers of self-doubt or societal conditioning. Authentic power also redefines your relationship with fear. Fear doesn't just vanish. It's too fundamental a human emotion to disappear completely. Instead, you begin to see it for what it is, a signpost that you're stepping into uncharted territory. Rather than letting it paralyze you, you use fear as fuel. Each time you act in spite of it, your sense of self expands, and you reinforce the understanding that the universe supports boldness aligned with a higher purpose. When fear no longer controls you, it becomes a catalyst for exponential growth. An unexpected benefit of this newfound power is the positive impact on those around you. When you show up authentically, you give silent permission for others to do the same. People might comment that your energy feels calming or that they feel oddly inspired after talking with you. This is because authenticity resonates at a high frequency, naturally uplifting anyone who crosses your path. You don't have to preach or demand that others change. Your very presence encourages them to look within and consider that they too might have a dormant power waiting to be awakened. Eventually, you realize that authentic power isn't something you achieve once and then store away. It's a living, breathing aspect of your being that grows and evolves as you continue to align with your inner truth. Every decision, every conversation, every dream pursuit either strengthens or diminishes it. The more you choose alignment, the more powerful you become, setting off a domino effect of transformation in every corner of your life and beyond. Chapter 5. Healing and Releasing Past Traumas. Transformation isn't only about stepping into new blessings. It also involves revisiting and healing old wounds. As you rise in consciousness, unresolved pains from your past may resurface, beckoning you to face them head-on. At first, this may feel like a step backward, as though you're regressing instead of moving forward. In truth, it's a sign of progress. The higher your vibration, the more your psyche demands a thorough purge of any lingering hurts that weigh you down. You might notice that certain triggers pop up more frequently, perhaps a particular family issue you thought you'd buried, or a childhood memory you hadn't thought about in years. These triggers aren't random. They appear to give you an opportunity to finally process emotions you previously suppressed. It's common to experience tears, anger, or deep sorrow as you confront these memories. Though uncomfortable, these emotional releases are vital for clearing out stagnant energy. By allowing yourself to feel and then release, you free up space in your heart for greater love, joy, and resilience. In everyday situations, you'll see the practical benefits of healing. That coworker who used to make your blood boil might not bother you as much anymore. Old insecurities that haunted you, like fear of abandonment or fear of not being good enough, start to fade as you realize they're echoes of a past self that no longer defines you. Healing doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you transformed your relationship to it. You can recall painful events without being emotionally hijacked, which is a powerful indicator that true healing has taken place. This phase of releasing past traumas often calls for self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. It's easy to judge your reactions or berate yourself for not having healed sooner, but your journey is unfolding in divine timing. You needed to reach a certain level of emotional and spiritual readiness to process these wounds effectively. Offer yourself the same kindness and patience you would extend to a dear friend facing similar challenges. This self-love accelerates the healing process, reinforcing the message that you are worthy of peace and wholeness. Spiritual tools can amplify your healing. Journaling, energy healing practices, therapy, or simply talking with a trusted confidant all contribute to releasing old pain. Meditation in particular can open a safe internal space where insights surface more easily. If you're drawn to alternative healing modalities like breathwork, sound therapy, or shamanic journeys, trust that intuition. The universe has a way of presenting exactly what you need at the moment you need it, especially when you're intentional about healing. Emerging from the process of releasing trauma feels like shedding a heavy cloak you didn't realize you were wearing. Your perspective brightens, your relationships improve, and your creative energy soars. This isn't to say you'll never face a trigger again, but each time you'll be more equipped to handle it. A sense of relief and renewed vigor seeps into your everyday experience, confirming that you're lighter and more free. Healing is an ongoing journey, but every layer you lift brings you closer to the boundless person you're destined to be. Chapter 6. Stepping into your new reality. Having released old wounds, embraced higher support, and awakened authentic power, you're now standing at the threshold of a new reality. This isn't a small adjustment, it's a radical shift in how you live, see, and feel. You may notice that what once felt impossible flows more easily. Obstacles either dissolve or morph into stepping stones. People who uplift you appear, while those who drain you naturally fade away. It's not about judgment, it's alignment powered by your heightened vibration. In practical terms, stepping into this new reality could mean taking bold actions you once feared. Perhaps you finally launched that dream business, moved to a place you've always felt drawn to, or switched careers to something that ignites your spirit. Friends or family may be surprised or concerned, but the deeper part of you knows it's time. You sense the universe encouraging you, offering opportunities that align perfectly with your vision. A subtle excitement hums beneath your daily life, reminding you that everything is unfolding at the right pace. One of the greatest changes is how you view adversity. Where you once saw failure or rejection, you now see guidance. Divine redirections nudging you onto a clearer path. These obstacles don't break you, they refine you. If something doesn't pan out, you don't spiral. Instead, you ask what lesson or new direction this moment holds. This mindset shift lets you remain calm and curious, even when uncertainty looms. Emotionally, you cultivate a more positive baseline. You won't be happy 24/7, but there's an undercurrent of peace and gratitude that was absent before. Beauty in everyday moments, a shared laugh, a brilliant sunset, moves you deeply, filling you in a cycle of wonder and appreciation. This heartfelt gratitude strengthens your bond with the universe, drawing more blessings into your orbit. Your relationships often transform too. You communicate more honestly, drawing in people who support your growth. Superficial connections lose their hold, replaced by deeper bonds rooted in mutual respect and shared values. You might form a circle of kindred spirits who reflect your dedication to becoming the best version of yourself, collectively uplifting one another in the process. Stepping into this new reality is both a celebration and a fresh beginning. While you've made remarkable progress, you sense there is more to discover. Having witnessed how alignment unleashes universal support, you welcome whatever comes next with open arms. You trust that you're where you need to be, fully ready to continue your unfolding journey. Chapter 7. Continuing the Transformation. Transformation isn't a single event, but a lifelong unfolding. You might have imagined that healing one wound or clearing one hurdle would lead you to a perfect, permanent finish line. In truth, each milestone is both an ending and a beginning, each victory spurring you to aim higher, delve deeper, and love more fully. This never-ending dance keeps you growing, alive to new possibilities. With each fresh cycle, your habits, relationships, goals, and worldviews keep shifting. New challenges match your elevated perspective, not always bigger, but more refined, testing qualities like patience or discernment. Now you approach them with curiosity instead of dread, trusting each trial as a vital piece of your becoming. This ongoing metamorphosis also clarifies your role in uplifting others. Realizing your personal evolution ripples outward, you offer guidance, empathy, or even silent blessings that can spark transformation in those around you. People sense your compassion and authenticity, drawing inspiration from it. Few rewards are greater than seeing how your growth fuels collective well-being. Meanwhile, your sense of time may evolve. You become more present and less frantic, gravitating toward what truly nourishes your soul: meaningful dialogue, creative pursuits, and spiritual depth. The world's static fades in comparison to your inner voice, and you align ambition with intention rather than rushing blindly. Of course, you remain human. Doubt might creep in, or old habits resurface. External chaos can overwhelm. Yet now you possess tools to face life's tests with grace. You've conquered fear before, you'll do it again. Each hurdle surmounted weaves another strand into the tapestry of your unfolding self. Ultimately, continuous transformation isn't about perfection, but progress. Guided by love and alignment, you're here to experience life in all its layers, to evolve and inspire, to marvel at the miracles that arise when you heed your soul's call. In that awareness, challenges become stepping stones and blessings multiply, revealing that you are more than capable of meeting every new step on this path of growth.